Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday.
Hi, Walnut. I have to press record and I have to go now or I never will. Good morning. Happy Walnut Wednesday. It is me, Laz, here. I am a little bit under the weather. I'm feeling a little bit sick. We have had first week of daycare, and I am tired and we just got back from a holiday and I need like first holiday with baby and I need a holiday after the holiday. But I've reflected, and something that's coming up for me, I think, is really like is a walnutting to share, I think, because it's that need for getting that outside perspective, and I'm in a place where I'm finding it hard to get that from within, if from self-reflection. And so I was thinking back to an example that I could give, which was on the holiday. Um, And where my baby wasn't in the best of moods, he hadn't had his afternoon sleep, all of the things. He was just really grumpy. And I was kind of like, um, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of left my body for a little bit. And there was this moment where I was just holding my baby and he was really upset, and I was just kind of like jiggling him on my lap. And I just left the building. I was just like, I don't know what to do. He's not stopping crying, so my little inner self-care was like, let's just disassociate. Um, and not in a dangerous way or anything. Obviously, I was still in control of my baby and things, but yeah, I now I'm second guessing myself. Are you going to think I'm a bad parent, all the things, Walnut? But I know that that's quite normal. But I did have, because we were with a group of friends, I did have a friend say, okay, why don't we have a change of scenery? I'll hold the baby. And even just that little like movement, of just that change, uh, like re-clicked my brain into gear, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, why don't we have a bath early? And I was able to sort of like troubleshoot and think of the next step rather than sit there sit there in a black abyss with a crying child. Um, which is also very normal. I'm just going to put it out there, very normal. I feel anxious to even say this, and like I'm like, should I even air this? But I know this is normal. So if you're hearing this, Walnut, just know that you're not by yourself if you feel the same way sometimes. And it doesn't make you a bad parent or a bad person or a bad anything. It just makes you normal. Um, and and then anyway, so we had the bath and things, and I just had my friend was just there. She was just there. I've already named her a couple of times on the podcast, so I don't want to, pick favorites or anything. But she was just there in the bathroom with me, handing me a flannel or whatever, and I just remember there was like a point when I was like getting clothes and stuff in the bedroom, and I said, I don't know why I've got to start crying. And it was like a really long day. I was just really overwhelmed, and nothing spectacular really happened on her part. She was just there. She just came into the bathroom, handed me a thing, asked me if I needed anything, and just was present. I'm getting upset thinking about it because that meant so much to me. And she'd also pointed out, again, it's that like change of scenery, that like refresh. She said, oh, Liz, you actually haven't left the house today, it's been it's like kind of dark and stuffy and all of the things, you haven't had any fresh air. So all of these little things, when I was just kind of veering towards the pool, the pool of not being able to do anything and not being able to see clearly. Um, just getting that refresh from someone else was just so helpful and thoughtful. And then later that night, when the kids were asleep and all the things, we actually went for a walk to the dairy, and it was just so I felt I was rejuvenated. I came back in a completely different person. I was in a good mood. And I think what's kind of coming up for me this morning and the reason why this story time has come up for me is I'm finding myself in a place where just because I don't ask for help doesn't mean I don't need it. And I've gotten myself into a little position of I just get on with it instead of having to constantly ask. And because asking is has frustrated me or made me resentful or bitter or all those funny emotions that come with asking. And I'm not talking about asking for help as in you know upsetting myself and all of the things. I'm talking about in like in practical terms with like having a baby and things like that. Um so yeah, I just because I have stopped asking does not mean I don't need it. And having a friend truly see me and see that was so special. It was so special. I can't even describe how special it actually is to just be seen by somebody, which sounds so strange, but I feel like especially if you're in this kind of season of life with me and like if you've had like a little baby yourself, you can kind of get where I'm coming from, where I have just gotten to this point where it's just kind of like I go aside. My needs just go over there and it's just carry on. Like I'm not feeling very well and I can't just watch One Tree Hill and eat chips and dip like I used to when I was having a sick day. My sick day looks completely different now. Um, so it's just this carry on thing. And I guess I got to a point where I just got sick of asking. Got sick of asking. I got resentful for asking, because I shouldn't have to. It's kind of like reminded me of that TikTok where it's like, if your woman, if your woman stops nagging, you're in trouble. Like because it's like if she's gone quiet, it means she's checked out. But it's not like that. I haven't checked out. It's just, um, yeah, there are all these little extra things that are just sort of bleeding through, but I have stopped asking, meaning um I have just been getting on with things on what feels like on my own. And that little moment where one of my really good friends was just like, "Hey bitch, I see you. I see what's going on here." She actually told me like I think a day or two later she said, "Yeah, I could see you just going inward. I could see it kind of like going downhill, so we just needed to change the scenery. I just needed to grab the baby and and that's what happened. She just saw what was going on objectively and then the minute that there was like a shift or a change or help, I suppose, and this is not to say that I don't get that I'm not helped or anything like that. It's just this is just the feeling that's kind of like coming up right now. But yeah, the moment that there was a little shift, I was able to kind of troubleshoot. So I was really going inward. I don't even know if I was going inward. I was floating off into the sky. I was floating off to my happy place. Um, so yeah, I just thought that that was an interesting thing that popped into my head this morning, with the feelings that I'm feeling at the moment. And I thought I would share this with you, Walnut. So yeah, I think it's really important. And I think I did share this on a different episode for a similar thing where I got out of the house. But that shift, that little really, really, really small shift or change in what you're doing can help with that feeling of being stagnant or stuck. I'm repeating myself because I feel like I've had a story time about this on a different scenario when I went to do an errand. Oh, must be a season. But anyway, here's another story time for you. I hope it's helpful. Let me know if you've been in the same boat, if you have the same feelings. If this resonates, I'd love to hear from you. Um, Other than that, short and sweet, off to carry on and do my things and yeah. And boom, full stop. I don't know. There's no end. There was no continuation. Have a happy Walnut Wednesday, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.